Alright, in the garage today I have this 2012 Chevy Equinox and it needs a new battery. So thought I'd film this just because it's not your standard battery replacement. There are a few things that you have to do that's not normally required by other vehicles. So there's a little plastic piece right here that needs to be flipped up out of the way. Your car's computer is right here actually. That needs to be moved and out of the way. It's only a bolt, so don't freak out if you haven't done this kind of stuff before. But real easy to do. You should be able to do this. You do need a couple tools. I got them laying over here. So, flathead screwdriver. I've got an actual popping tool. You can get these down at the auto store for a couple bucks. They're not very expensive, but if you got one of these, this makes it easier. But a flathead screwdriver will work. And then I've got a 10mm deep well socket. It has to be one of these deep ones because there's a stud you have to go around, and if you got a standard socket, it won't go around it. So. And then along with the actual socket wrench, and I have the extension to make it easier. You may be able to do this without that extension though. And then I got a 10mm wrench. So that's all really the tools you need. This is basically the same thing. This is for the battery post terminal, the screws for that, or the bolts for that. So I just have a dedicated tool for it. So let's get started. So first things first, let's take this cover off. It literally just slides to the right, so just push it like that and it comes right up. Just set this off to the side, and then here's your computer. So right down here, right there, is a little 10mm bolt. You'll want to use your socket wrench and pull this off of here, and then once you do that, this computer will slide the same direction and come right off, and then you'll lay it to the side. So actually I left my wrench over there, so let me go get that and we'll get that done. Alright, so now that that's done, all you gotta do is just move this over to the right, like that. And it should slide right off like that. So I'm just going to lay it right here. Probably easy to do this, or easier to do this when the motor's actually cool. Otherwise, it'll be a little warm up through here. But so got that off to the side. Now let's go ahead and pop this plastic piece off. Like I said, I got the popper, but I'll use the screwdriver first. You'll see that when you get really close to these, they're just little poppers, and you can actually get your screwdriver in between the head and then the base of it. And then just move it up slowly. Don't, it's plastic, so it will break easily. But once you have it popped like that, just keep pulling it. And there, the whole head came off, but there you go. That's all you gotta do. There's 3 of them. So that one right in front, this one in the back, and there's one right over here too. So what I'm gonna do with this, these push right back together. So if you do that and the head comes off, all you gotta do is push them back together. So I just pushed it back together, lay that off to the side, and I'll get these other 3 done, or the other 2. Alright, so once that's done, this plastic piece folds right up. It is still connected up here. I haven't taken any of this off, but you'll see there's a crease right here. So you can actually just bend this up, and it'll just sit up right up there against the shock there for the hood. And then you have the 2 bolts you need to get to. You have this one right here, and then you got this one down here, which is the one I was talking about with the stud. So you have to have the deep well to go actually around that stud. So it's just those 2 bolts. I'm just going to take them both off real quick. It'll take this brace off right here, and then you'll be able to get to the battery and lift it out. You'll have to take off the terminals first, but it'll lift right out after that. So Alright, so got my tool. Loosen this guy up. And alright, that's all off. Let's see if I can break this loose here. There we go. And then it'll pull right out. And then I've actually already replaced this battery, but it's all loose. You can just gotta tuck this positive terminal out of the way. It's kind of a pain because it's just sitting in there. Let's see if I can get it out. So, yeah, it'd come right out. But like I said, I just replaced this, so I don't actually have to take it out. But you get the new battery in there, push the terminals back on, and you want to make sure to tighten it back up. Make sure those terminals are all the way down. And be really careful when you're putting it back together. I really should have done probably the positive first, because if you're not careful and you're touching the terminal and you hit this basket, which is metal, it'll actually spark, so you want to be really careful. But alright, it's on there, it's all tight. Make sure you put the terminal covers back on. Then basically just do the install in reverse order. So I will just put the camera down, finish up the install, and we'll get done with this. Alright, and then it's really simple to push these poppers back in. Just make sure you push down on the trim piece, it's all lined up. You need to make sure the head's out like that. And then just make sure the holes are lined up and you push it right in. And then make sure once the base of it's in, you push the head in. So I'll do one more real quick. Push it in, it's in, but the head's still up. Just like that, that's it. And that's about it. Just gotta put the cover back on. It goes on the way it came off. There you go. It's all replaced. If you got any questions, throw them down in the comments. If this helped you, please hit the like button. Thanks.